10 simple home exercises that build real strength for everyday life and improve your quality of life. You know what is more frightening than getting older? Realizing that little by little, you are losing the ability to do things on your own. Carrying a grocery bag, getting up off the floor after playing with a grandchild, climbing a flight of stairs without gripping the handrail with both hands. Most people treat these signs as a normal part of aging and move on without questioning them. And when they try to address the problem, they run into traditional gym workouts designed for hypertrophy and aesthetics, aimed at a much younger audience. People in their 60s on machines that work muscles in isolation, with no connection to the real movements of daily life. The good news is that there is a different path, a smarter and completely accessible one. Before we begin, please tell us in the comments your name and the city you are watching from. We would love to know. Exercise number 10. Farmer's Carry. If you could choose only one exercise to do for the rest of your life, the farmer's carry would be one of the smartest choices you could make. The name may sound simple, but the impact this movement has on the body is surprisingly complete. By holding a weight in each hand and simply walking upright, you simultaneously engage the hands, forearms, shoulders, core, thighs, and calves. The exercise improves posture, builds light cardiovascular endurance without overloading the joints, and trains exactly the movement you repeat dozens of times every week, carrying bags, buckets, luggage, or any object that requires a firm grip. Think about it. There is no better simulation than practicing the actual movement itself. To perform it correctly, hold a weight in each hand. It can be a full water bottle, a bag of rice, a jug, anything that fits in your hand and has some weight. Stand upright with your shoulders gently pulled back and down, your chin parallel to the ground, and your core engaged as if you were about to receive a light push to your stomach. Walk a distance of 20 to 30 meters in a controlled manner, with firm steps and no rush. Breathe normally throughout. The main errors to avoid are letting the shoulders fall forward, forming a rounded back, rushing the steps to finish quickly, and relaxing the abdominals midway through. When the shoulders drop, the spine loses its alignment and the exercise stops being functional and becomes potentially harmful. Always keep the spine upright and the shoulders organized. For beginners, 2 sets of 20 to 30 meters are recommended with 60 seconds of rest between them. As strength and confidence grow, progress to 3 sets and gradually increase the weight used. There are no absolute contraindications for this exercise, but people with severe arthritis in the hands or wrist injuries should adapt their grip or consult a professional before starting. Exercise number 9. Lunges. There is a situation that almost everyone over 60 has experienced, arriving at the bottom of a staircase and feeling that moment of hesitation. It is not a lack of courage, it is a lack of specific leg strength. Lunges exist precisely to solve this. This exercise accurately simulates the movement pattern of climbing steps and taking long strides, training each leg independently, which is essential for correcting imbalances that accumulate over the years without us even noticing. Lunges strengthen the quadriceps, glutes, and calves at the same time, but the great differentiator is the dynamic balance demand they require. You are not just lifting weight, you are controlling your body in motion, which activates a series of stabilizer muscles that gym machines simply cannot recruit. To perform, stand with your feet hip-width apart. Take a step forward with one leg, placing your foot firmly on the ground, and lower the back knee toward the floor slowly and with control without letting it slam down. The front knee should point in the direction of your toes, never collapsing inward. Then, push through the front heel to rise back up and repeat, alternating legs. For greater safety, the static version, where you do not alternate steps and complete all repetitions on one side before switching, is equally effective and easier to control. The main errors to avoid are letting the front knee travel past the toes, which puts excessive pressure on the joint, leaning the torso too far forward, and taking short steps that remove all efficiency from the movement. The step needs to be long enough so that the back knee points almost vertically toward the ground. The initial recommendation is 2 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions per leg with 60 to 90 seconds of rest. Over time, progress to 3 sets of 12 repetitions. People with severe balance issues or a history of knee surgery should start only with the static version and, preferably, with a nearby chair or wall for support. Exercise number 8, single leg balance. Here is an exercise that seems almost ridiculous in its simplicity, yet carries one of the greatest impacts on the quality of life for those in their 50s, 60s, or 70s. Standing still on one leg, that is all. And yet, many people discover when they try it that their body sways, their hands instinctively reach for support, and a feeling of insecurity appears quickly. This is not a character weakness, it is a clear signal that the ankles, knees, and hips need attention. To perform, stand next to a chair or with one hand lightly touching a wall. Lift one foot off the ground and try to hold your balance for 20 to 30 seconds before switching legs. Your gaze should be fixed on a point straight ahead, at eye level. Avoid looking down, as this removes the main visual reference point that helps maintain balance. The main errors to avoid are tensing the whole body in an attempt to compensate, which paradoxically worsens balance, looking at the floor, and not using support when it is needed. Using the chair as a safety net is not weakness, it is intelligence. Over time, you will need that support less and less. Perform 3 sets of 20 to 30 seconds on each leg, with short breaks between them. As balance improves, progress by trying to close your eyes for a few seconds or doing the exercise on a slightly uneven surface. There are no absolute contraindications, but people with active vertigo or vestibular problems should consult a doctor before practicing. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. Having constant access to science-based information is what will allow you to progress with long-term health in the world of exercise. Exercise number 7, triceps dip. There is a movement you probably perform every day without giving it any thought. Pushing yourself up from a chair, using your hands on the sides of the seat, or getting out of a bathtub, or rising from bed. In all of these cases, the primary muscle responsible for the push is the triceps, located at the back of the upper arm. And weak triceps turn these simple situations into real challenges. To perform, sit on the edge of a solid chair, preferably without wheels and with a firm seat. Place the palms of your hands on the sides of the seat with your fingers pointing forward. Shift your hips forward off the chair, keeping your back close to the edge. Bend your elbows and lower yourself slowly and with control to approximately 90 degrees of flexion. Then push back up to the starting position by extending your elbows. Keep your shoulders organized throughout the movement, avoiding letting them rise toward your ears. The main errors to avoid are using an unstable or wheeled chair, which is dangerous, letting the elbows flare out too far to the sides, which compromises the triceps engagement, and descending too quickly without control, losing the benefit of the eccentric phase of the movement. Start with 2 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions and progress to 3 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions as strength increases. People with a history of elbow or shoulder injuries or active bursitis should exercise caution and, if necessary, substitute with palm presses against a wall, which work the triceps with far less joint stress. Exercise number 6, walking on uneven terrain. There is a big difference between training balance on a completely flat surface and training balance under real conditions. The street is not flat, the garden is not flat, the path through the park is not flat, and it is precisely on these unpredictable surfaces that falls happen. Walking on uneven terrain is an exercise that seems too simple to be taken seriously, but it has a profound impact on safety and confidence when moving around. To perform, simply choose a path that is not completely smooth. The grass in the garden, a park with dirt paths, or even a sidewalk, with variations are all sufficient. Start slowly, with conscious steps and attention to the ground. If there is any feeling of insecurity, Use a support such as a walking stick or cane without hesitation. The main errors to avoid are walking too fast before having enough confidence, wearing inadequate footwear with a poor sole and little traction, and abandoning the exercise out of fear instead of simply adjusting the difficulty to something safer. Start with 10 to 15 minutes of walking on uneven terrain 3 times per week. Progress by increasing the duration or choosing slightly more challenging surfaces. There are no absolute contraindications, but those with severe balance issues or neuropathy in the feet should start only with supervision or constant support. Exercise number 5, Superman. If there is a silent epidemic compromising the quality of life of millions of people over 50, that epidemic has a name: posterior chain weakness. A weak lower back, underdeveloped glutes, and neglected hamstrings. This combination is the recipe for chronic back pain, a hunched posture, and increasing difficulty staying upright for long periods. The exercise gets its name because, when performing it, you are in the position of someone flying like the superhero, lying face down with your arms and legs extended and elevated simultaneously. This position activates the spinal erectors, which are the muscles that keep the spine upright, the glutes, and the hamstrings, forming a coordinated contraction of the entire posterior chain. To perform, lie face down on a firm surface with your arms extended out in front of you as if you were about to dive. At the same time, lift your arms, chest, and legs off the ground using the strength of your back and glutes, and hold the position for approximately 2 seconds before lowering with control. The movement should be slow and deliberate, not an impulse. The main errors to avoid are forcing the neck upward to look ahead, which causes unnecessary cervical tension, holding your breath during the effort, and using momentum to rise instead of controlling the movement isometrically. Your gaze should be kept toward the floor or slightly forward, never forced upward. Perform 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions, holding for 2 seconds at the top of each one. People with an active herniated disc or acute lower back pain should avoid this exercise and seek medical guidance before starting. Exercise number 4, heel raise. There is a muscle in your body that works against gravity every time you take a step, every time you climb a stair, and every time you simply stand. That muscle is the calf, and it deserves far more attention than it typically receives. For good reason, the calf is called the second heart of the body, because it is responsible for compressing the veins in the legs and helping pump blood back to the heart against the force of gravity. The heel raise directly strengthens this muscle, while also working the ankle stabilizers, which has a direct impact on fall prevention. A strong and agile ankle is often the difference between losing your balance and recovering before you fall. To perform, stand with your feet parallel at hip width, with one hand lightly resting on a chair or wall for balance. Rise onto the balls of your feet slowly and with control, lifting your heels as high as you can, then lower with the same slowness without letting the heel slam down. The lowering phase, the eccentric phase of the movement, is just as important as the rise. Dropping the heel down without control wastes half the benefit of the exercise. The main errors to avoid are rising too quickly and losing control on the way down, not completing the full range of motion, and not using support when balance is still being developed. Using the wall as a support is smart, not a limitation. Perform 3 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions with 45 to 60 seconds of rest between them. People with active Achilles tendonitis or recent foot fractures should wait for full recovery before starting. Exercise number 3, biceps curl. Carrying grocery bags, lifting a full pot, holding a grandchild, or simply pulling open a drawer. All of these movements depend directly on biceps strength. This muscle, located at the front of the upper arm, is the primary driver of elbow flexion and forearm supination, which is the movement of turning the palm upward. The biceps curl is the most direct exercise to develop this strength and, contrary to what many people think, requires no specific equipment. Water bottles, cans of beans, sandbags, books inside a tote bag, any weighted object that fits in your hand works perfectly. To perform, hold the improvised weights with your palms facing upward and keep your elbows fixed close to your body. That detail ensures the biceps is doing the work and not the shoulders. Curl upward, controlling the movement until the weights come close to your shoulders, then lower slowly, resisting the weight on the way down without dropping your arms. The main errors to avoid are swinging the torso backward to gain momentum, which shifts the effort to the lower back and removes the work from the biceps, letting the elbows drift away from the body and not completing the full range of motion on both sides of the movement, both the upward and downward phases. Perform 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions with 45 to 60 seconds of rest. Progress by increasing the weight of the objects used as strength improves. People with elbow tendinitis should adjust the range of motion and, if necessary, consult a professional. Exercise number 2, chair squat. How many times a day do you sit down and stand up? If you stop to count, the number will surprise you. Getting up from bed, the couch, the toilet, the dining chair. Research indicates that adults perform this movement between 30 and 60 times per day on average. And when the muscles responsible for this movement pattern weaken, each of these situations starts to require disproportionate effort, hand support, or worse, the help of another person. The chair squat is the most functional exercise there is for reinforcing exactly this pattern. It strengthens the quadriceps, which are the largest muscles on the front of the thigh, the glutes, and the core, all at the same time, within a range of motion that is completely applicable to real life. To perform, stand in front of a chair with your feet shoulder-width apart and toes pointing slightly outward. Push your hips back and lower yourself in a controlled manner, as if you were about to sit, until you almost touch the seat. Then rise without using your hands for support whenever possible. If you need to use your hands in the first few weeks, that is fine. The goal is to gradually progress until the support is no longer needed. The main errors to avoid are letting the knees collapse inward during the descent or ascent, leaning the torso excessively forward and lowering too quickly without control. The knees should always follow the direction of the toes. Start with 2 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions and progress to 3 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions. People with a knee or hip replacement should verify with their orthopedic surgeon the allowed range of motion before starting. Exercise number 1, lateral squat. The 10th and final exercise on this list works a movement pattern that almost no traditional workout addresses: lateral displacement. Stepping around a running child, moving from one side of the kitchen to the other, getting out of a car parked in a tight space. All of these movements require a capacity that is silently lost over time. Lateral mobility and strength. The lateral squat strengthens the inner and outer thighs, including the gluteus medius, which is one of the most important muscles for hip and knee stability. When the gluteus medius is weak, the knees tend to collapse inward when walking or squatting, which increases the risk of injury. To perform, stand with your feet well apart, considerably wider than shoulder width, with your toes pointing slightly outward. Bend one knee at a time, shifting your hips toward that side while keeping the other leg extended and your foot planted on the ground. Lower slowly and with control and rise before repeating to the other side. The torso should remain as upright as possible throughout the movement. The main errors to avoid are tilting the torso excessively to the side of the bending knee, letting the bending knee travel past your toes, and performing the movement without control on the way down, which places unnecessary stress on the knee joint. Perform 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions per side, with 60 seconds of rest between sets. Progress by increasing repetitions before increasing the range of motion. People with a history of knee ligament injury or hip joint pain should start with a reduced range of motion and progress with caution. If you enjoyed this and want to discover the best mobility exercises to keep your joints healthy and your body active even after 60, we have a video appearing on screen right now showing each one in detail. Make sure to check it out. Thank you for watching all the way through, and God bless you, my friend.